From the UK to the US to Canada, this is what the culture's been talking about. This is the Tiye Noelle Show. Welcome back, guys. We are here with another episode. We have a lot going on this week. Diddy's sex tape is out, guys. We saw a shrimp. It was so scary. So yeah, a lot going on. We're going to be hitting the UK today. There's no Canada. Ain't nothing going on over there. Well, over here, because that's where we're at. But yeah, so much to talk about. So little time. Let's get into hot topics. Okay, so we are here back with the crash because we ended on the crash last week. Was that last week or the week before? I think that was last week. Mm-hmm. I have some updated juice for you guys. So someone, you know, TikTok with all the conspiracy theories. They was doing some digging with some of the transcripts from the case, pulling some of her phone records. And some of the phone records came up with conversations, or many conversations, with her papa. And they were highly questionable things. I'm going to play this TikTok just so that it kind of gives you a gist of the story. And then we can just talk about how weird they seemed anyway. But
Kim, you didn't find this in your...
Even worse. This is definitely not on the Netflix drama, and it's definitely not on the YouTube either, because... Or the Hulu.
There is something very dark about Mackenzie's relationship with her parents. The court found text messages between her and her father very late at night asking for milk. And these texts occur like every single night for 2 years, from 11 to 3 a.m. Almost all of them take place in the middle of the night, but there are a couple, like 1 or 2, that take place around 10 a.m. But you can literally see it here, January 4th, 2020 at 2 a.m. He doesn't see the text for a couple hours, and then he asks if she still wants milk, and she doesn't answer. I'm seeing people, and this is all alleged, think that milk is a code word for something. And it makes sense. We found out that she was on the phone with her mom, speaking in this code that turned out to be Carney. So what if there are other code words in this house that we don't know about? And the really scary part about that is, what do they mean? Now, I did hear that in Ohio, where she's from, it's very common to drink warm milk at night when you can't fall asleep. But then it's like, why can't you get your own milk? Why would you assume that your father is awake to then go and get you the milk? Why would he be up waiting to get you milk? I mean, maybe he really is just her bitch, but like, does he not sleep? And then another really weird, creepy thing about it is that she always tells him in these texts when he comes into her room to make sure he's quiet. But it's just milk. What is she hiding? She's never cared about her mom before, and you're telling me now she wants to make sure her mom gets a good night's sleep? Another thing, though, that could explain why it's so secretive is I have heard that when you're tripping, warm milk will calm you down. Now, I can't speak on this because I don't do any of that, but this is coming from a girl whose father gave her a bong at 14 years old, and who openly in a Netflix documentary was like, yeah, I let my kids smoke weed. But she seems used to that substance. So, like, was it something else? And that's why it was a secret? I do not know. I have more to say about this weird household, though.
Anyway, but what I wanted to read is because one of the text messages said, "Do you want some milk?" She didn't reply, and then he said, "Never mind, your mom loves me." Huh? He said, "Do you want some milk?" She apparently didn't reply, and then he said, "Never mind, your mom loves me." So what do we the dad was giving weird in the documentary anyway. We already know she moved out to be with, what's his name, RIP, Dominic. Right, at a young age. She was, it seemed weird. What do you think milk means? Because what we talk about milk, when we think like milk in a code word, it's giving male jizz. So do you think she was groomed, and he's offering milk in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night? Why do you need to be quiet? why are you saying mum loves you? It loves me. Anyway, so never mind.
My mind is way too innocent for all of that.
I just wanted to bring that up because I was like, when I saw this TikTok, I was bewildered. That family looks weird anyway. You're on a documentary, someone dies in a car crash, or two people die in a car crash, but you decide to wear a top that says boom. That was weird. Already admitted that he gives her drugs, happy for her to smoke weed, and fixed her bong and all this kind of stuff. This coming out and then being text messages saying, yeah, do you want milk? Do you want milk? Unless it's drugs, I'm assuming it seems a bit questionable. It could be drugs, to be honest. Which is why she's like, mum, be like, mum's quiet, don't, you know.
It's such a horrible accusation that I don't want to speculate on it.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
But I was like, this is crazy. And the fact that no one really mentioned this.
I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that that there was some racism.
Yeah, apparently they're racist. They're racist too. And she was on the phone talking negative about what was his name?
Oh, the other kid?
Yeah, Davion. So racist. Anyways, let Mackenzie stay where she deserves to be. To be honest, there was not one part of that documentary or anything I've seen on TikTok thus far that makes me feel to free Mackenzie. She is exactly where she deserves to be. Anyway, talk about another person who is exactly where they're supposed to be. Diddy sex tape. Did anyone see Diddy sex tape with his shrimp penis?
I have not.
Guys, as soon as I saw it on Twitter, not on Twitter, I saw it on Instagram and I went to Twitter. Because you know Twitter is where you can see all the X-rated stuff, right? So I saw Twitter, scrolled through all the comments and finally saw the whole 38 minutes.
38?
It's a full video. So first of all, it's Daphne, 50 Cent's baby mum, and
Crazy.
one of the escorts that they hire. And actually, majority of it, also very lame sex. If this is the sex that they've been doing at these sex parties, we could have all been there. Very lackluster. She looked great, but she wasn't giving much. And like, you could tell she was also on drugs, but it just wasn't giving the high energy that I assumed that Diddy sex party or like what that would be like. It was just like, this is the sex that you have when you're on drugs. This is the sex that we have when we're tired.
Wait, why did you think that? Why did you think that?
I just thought that it was going to be more sensual. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just thought it would be a bit more like, just better than the sex that we're having. Like, I don't know what I thought it was going to be. But other than the little red light, which again, I got that in my living room. Like, I just feel like I assumed that it was going to be some like really gorgeous sex that just seems so taboo and like all like worth the shit that they were saying that it was. And it really gave lackluster sex. Like, I've seen amateur porn better than that.
Well, I mean, it was. I
Do you see it?
No.
Oh,
I saw some pictures though.
Yeah.
I saw some pictures, but no, I ain't seen the tape. But I mean, from the testimonies, it was like druggy type of sex. So
you could tell that they were on something or like drunk. Do you know what I mean? She was very like, yeah. But it also just looked like she was trying to be sexy with it. Like, if you watched it, it never looked like, it didn't look coerced at all. It didn't look like she don't want to be there. I'll tell you that. Obviously, but she's also on drugs and scared of this man with a lifestyle. So, you know, all the things to say. What was crazy is majority of it is you hear Diddy being like, you know, touch her here, do this. He's the one recording and kind of coaching them through the sex. She's there moaning all loud, very theatric. You know what I mean? Nothing. But near the end, let's say it's 38:09, around 37:58, Diddy comes in with his ass all in the camera. Diddy's got some wide hips. Diddy's hippie. Like, he's got a wide derriere. And it's not round, it's just wide. And then, you know, he's like giving them pillows and all this kind of stuff. And then he turns around and then you see him touching his thing and it's very small. It's a toddler penis. And now it makes sense. It makes sense why he's doing this whole cockhold thing where he wants to watch his girls doing things with other men, because that man's peen and Diddy's peen, two different levels of peen.
Why is this the take?
It was probably double in size of what Diddy was able to do. And he likes girls with big booties. I can't even see it getting past the cheeks. Honestly. It was, and it wasn't, it was quite embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie. Now it like all makes sense to me. Why he does the things that he does, why he's so angry. And why that's why he's so angry. And that's why he also has the money and is using it to get the girls that he has. He's overcompensating. That is an overcompensating penis. It definitely is. It was a micro, but it was micro adjacent. It was almost there. Whatever the category is out of micro, it maybe, it looked like it was hard, but maybe he had more stuff to grow. Do you know what I mean? And then there was a moment where the guy's penis was getting soft and he's like, oh, you know, she was all trying to make it work and stuff. I was like, he probably got soft because Diddy's there breathing heavy behind the camera with his wide hips. Like, so it was really hot because she looked great. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, why would you get soft? It's because of this guy. And you know he's about to take your, you know, milk and rub it all over his nips later. Do you know what I mean? It was probably a turn off for him. But yeah, no, honestly, the sex tape, go on X if anybody wants to see it.
But why is this the one that got released? There's hundreds.
I have no idea, but Vlad TV said that this is one that was through all the court case. This was one that was sent to him, and that he can verify. He verified it because some people were like, "Is that even Diddy?" Blah blah blah. Because they watched. It was a long sex tape, so they were trying to say that the man actually in the video was Diddy at first, and they're like, "That's not Diddy," but no one said it was. Diddy comes at the end with his bad hit. But yeah, so Vlad verified it, and we don't know, but apparently this is what majority of those sex tapes look like. The ones that he has is him coaching and documenting and recording like it, not him participating in them. All right. So this is one of the examples of it. Very strange, but this is a fetish that a lot of people do have. Like, people like to watch and people like to film. So he just does both, but at the same time, it's like, you know.
But like filming, I mean, I don't even want to get back into the Diddy stuff, but like filming your wife getting plowed by somebody else is just.
Well, this wasn't his wife.
I mean, your girl or whatever.
This was one of many girls. This is what I'm saying. Like, if you think about it, Diddy was messing with her at the same time he was probably messing with Cassie. At the same time he was messing with Lori Harvey. At the time he was messing with Krish Please. Like, he was messing with a lot of people, right? At the same time. This is not one individual girl that he has some sort of like great relationship with that he would never want to see and uphold. He even had Kim Porter apparently in these. No. Apparently Kim Porter was involved in some of these.
No.
Yes. Allegedly, because I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. So I don't think anyone's above this treatment from Diddy at all. And it definitely was gonna be Daphne. I genuinely feel like he messed with Daphne because she was 50 Cent's baby mum, and he just wanted to have, you know, follow up behind it to be like, yeah, I had what you had. Yeah. There's also something very statistic and ritualistic that I think Diddy has aligned with sex. The reason why he wants to have sex in these group activities on like Biggie's birthday and things like that, like why you want to have sex with like every single person that had, like, he dated Tupac's ex-girlfriend, and then, you know, then he's doing this with Daphne, and like I just think that he stole Kim. Pardon? He stole Kim from I'll Be Sure. Like, it's this kind of stuff that I think that when he feels like he wants to conquer someone or he has beef with someone, he uses these women to basically, I feel like, have this energy connection, soul tie with the person that he's beefing with. He's sick. He deserves to be there. But yeah, wasn't a great sex tape, guys. It didn't get me going at all. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna see something with the frills, you know, sex party, Diddy party, freak off. It wasn't given freak. It wasn't given. They said it was a freak off. They were doing it for hours. I thought, oh, it's gonna.
Wait, no, the freak offs are the parties. Like,
no, the freak offs is these orgies.
I don't know.
The freak offs were meant to be
yeah.
these are considered the freak offs.
Yeah.
These
But
ones.
I feel like you're getting that confused with Diddy's parties.
Okay,
Diddy's
well, yeah, the
parties and
parties
freak-offs
is
are
one
two
thing.
different things.
Yeah, but I thought that because this used to be called the freak off sessions that lasted 24 hours and she said that she was down there getting 12 hours. I just don't know. Maybe this was the tail end.
But think about
maybe this was the tail end of the 12 hours,
saying,
so it wasn't fun anymore.
24-hour sex or sex over days, that is not going to be energetic sex.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
In the corner just scripting you lot for his own personal fantasies.
Yeah, and as
producing
as creative and creative as Diddy was, he wasn't given good direction. Yeah. He didn't make this scene anything special. Nothing they could have done by themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like he had no razzle dazzle to it whatsoever. Like, but yeah, maybe this was the tail end of the 12 hours and everyone was tired. But Daphne girl, she did what she could do. She looked beautiful, stunning in it.
Who do you think released it?
From what you saw,
who do you think released the
50 Cent?
Nah, he would never.
Yeah, 50 Cent's been beefing Daphne for ages with yeah.
But I don't think that paints him in a positive light.
Who?
50. If you want to get back at your...
Do we remember who 50 Cent is? Do you think he actually cares?
Well, no, not in
He
that
beefs
sense.
his other baby mum. He beefs his son. Who do you think Daphne is?
But in the sense that it's like you effectively, that's a play for Diddy to kind of.
When Daphne was on the court, on the case, she was meant to be Jane Doe number 3. It was 50 Cent that put out her name and linked her to the case. Yeah, he don't care. He don't care. He wants to embarrass her because in his mind, you're a fool for going over there. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm joking. I don't know if it was really 50 Cent that sent it to Vlad TV, but back in the Vlad talked about having this thing, and then when it's now come out, he just did an interview where he was talking about this is the video that was sent to me. So we don't know who it came from. But yeah. Anyway, next. This weekend was Roots Picnic. Jay-Z, I know. Ken, the level of disappointment I am that I didn't get on my little mega bus, and take my ass to Roots Picnic. I'm really upset about it. We knew it was going to be legendary because obviously it's gearing up to his Barclays 3 weekend shows where he's doing Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, and then a collective show on the final Sunday, right? So this is meant to be like the intro and, you know, bring up everyone, and apparently it was phenomenal. I literally just met someone today in my building who went, and he said it was definitely worth it. He's seen Jay-Z before in real time, and this was the best concert that he's ever been to. This is the best performance he's ever seen Jay-Z come in. When he came out, they didn't know it was Jay-Z. He's there with his afro, locks gone, but he did a phenomenal job. What do you think? Did you see any clips?
I saw clips. I didn't see the ones that are kind of circulating where he's addressing
people. We're about to get into the addressing.
Yeah, I've seen some clips. It did look like it. I think we have the same kind of thought, which is like, I've seen Jay-Z, so you're thinking
it's going to be the same. I think he doesn't have a point to prove. I think he just has to he's reminding people. I think he's so far beyond music at this point. He is known as obviously a music mogul, but he's known as a businessman. And I think the last couple projects he's put out have been like about growth. Like he's put out, the Carters, what was that album called again? With him and Beyonce. He obviously did 444. It was called The Carters, right? So he brought out those are the last 2 albums that he brought out, right? So it's very much like on my grown shit with my family, you know, talking about all the things that we've been through. And now everybody wants to be online coming for Jay-Z. And he decided that while he was there, he was going to do a 4-minute freestyle addressing everyone who has said anything about him for, I guess, the last 2 years. So let's run down some of the people that he was speaking about and what he said. So obviously Drake came out a few weeks ago. Well, I think it's last week, 2 weeks ago. Iceman, and one of the bars that he said was basically like, I will take the 500k before I ever do a dinner with Jigga. Like, there's nothing that you could teach me. So he responded, it seems, and
Wrong chart, champ. You gotta look up again. Niggas look up the hole, I never looked up to them. The crackers got your publishing gangster. Go talk tough to them. Don't talk success to me. You niggas is workers. In perpetuity's how your contract is worded. Don't make me go man.
You look up to me, I don't look up to them. We are not peers.
Which is a callback actually from a song that they have together off of Drake's other album, the one with the baby mamas on it. Yeah. He says that bar. So it's interesting.
Certified Lover Boy.
Yeah, Certified Lover Boy. He says that on I can't remember the track, but it's All I Need or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he says that bar on the track.
Well, I'm glad, because honestly, like, Drake, I hear you, and I love Drake. We know I love Drake. Do you know what I mean? You are that guy. Don't get me wrong, but let's just leave Drake out of it. I don't know what their beef is, but
well, it's the whole him booking Kendrick Lamar thing, isn't it? For
yeah, but then again, to Jay-Z's point in that interview, in that GQ interview, was it GQ interview where he did the sit down? It's like, who am I gonna pick? I'm picking all the hip hop rappers. I'm gonna pick the best guy. If Drake and Kendrick had their beef, and it wasn't a cultural phenomenon that it was, and you know he just picked Kendrick for the sake of picking Kendrick, I would be like, okay, Shady Boots. But it was the biggest song of the year. He got a Grammy for it. Like he was on one. Like it had to be him. If it wasn't him, then who else was it going to be? And I've heard Drake, you turned down the Super Bowl a couple times. So at this point, what do you want? Do you know what I mean? Who else did he talk about? He spoke about Kanye West, because obviously Kanye West called his son retarded, or his kids retarded. I don't even know if we can say that. We might have to bleep that. But he was just like,
Never heard of a wonder kid? My children is some of them. Have you niggas no shame? Y'all trying to get under skin? I really get under skin. Ask unharmed player. Y'all thugs with y'all thumbs again. Everybody think they're the ones insane. You know, maniac. Watch y'all saniac in my presence, nigga, shrink.
With this one, yeah, sorry, you deserve that. Yay. There was no
light, to be fair. You weren't light on me, I'd say. But maybe that's the personal relationship that they've had before. You weren't light.
And this, I feel like, is a real freestyle. Obviously, he probably had these few lines in mind where he was going to say, but it really gave real freestyle. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be talking about nobody's kids. All your kids are lab babies, which makes why they're fine. No, but it's true. It's easy to talk. No, but it's true. It's easy to talk about people's kids and whatever they come out with, but you got to pick the best of the best embryo and genetically great children. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is natural over here that we know of. So, you know, like, let's not talk about people's children now. Who else did he talk about? Nicki Minaj. Like, Nicki Minaj has been on him for years. So I'm actually surprised. Well, I'm not surprised, sorry, that he finally said something, and I'm glad. Nicki, I love you dearly, but you have been gunning for this man for years. But he said, baby, that lady's back on that stuff.
Back on the stuff, she sound like she in love with him. Her kid can't even take their kids. Enough of them.
Pause. Enough of them. A rapper can't be my ops. I got MAGA Republicans. Those shits came from every top of the government. So obviously aligning she's with MAGA, but I love the way in which he said it without saying it, because he did a pause. Her Ken, because obviously she's Barbie, her Ken can't even pick up the kids even, because obviously he's a pedo. And he's not allowed to go to no one's schools. He can't even go to Chuck E. Cheese for the baby's birthday, because he's a registered sex offender. He ate that. He ate this. He ate this down.
The
Nicki one was
probably the hardest one.
No, what was the hardest one is this one. Tory Lanez and his daddy. Because when Tory Lanez got arrested, his dad was outside the court system saying, Rock Nation did this to my son. Rock Nation did this to my son. And then he said, to God, I hope that rocks crumble. That's what he said. So then this is what Jay-Z said. The rock's not crumbling.
Right, the rock's not crumbling. The leprechauns have magically run out of pranks. Your son on a federal jail line mumbling something about having too much in his drink. You know how dumb that is? Another one fumbled his, wonder how I get the...
But yeah, finally, someone says it. I need more people to say it because I swear all the men in the rap industry, Drake and on others, are obsessed with Tory Lanez and believe him, even though he did come on the federal line and apologize. What's he apologizing for if he did not do it? Are you going to be like, but we don't know what he was apologizing for? Are you going to say that?
I mean, you could apologize for the situation you've caused, right?
He said this. So what? Okay, the situation he caused her to have bullet fragments in her foot. The situation that he caused with the gun that he had in his possession, even though he was not allowed to because he was on probation, is what caused him to be in jail. Actually, why he is in jail is because he had the gun that he should have legally not had, right? This is why that man is in jail. Not because he shot Meg, which, okay, that's why he's in jail. But even if you believe, because people are saying he didn't shoot her, maybe he didn't shoot her, maybe he shot at her, because she said he shot the ground and fragments. That's what she said. That's what Kelsey said. Also, after it happened, Kelsey texted whoever she texted, the manager, and said, Tory shot Meg. Why else would she say that? I think they're all drunk, they're all doing all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. Why would someone be able to make that up in literally within 20 minutes of it happening? To put the blame on someone for no reason. Why would he call and say, I know you might not ever talk to me again, but I'm sorry, I was drunk, I don't remember what happened. If he didn't do anything. Right? Like, it's just insane that people are still, from his own words. Anyway, shout out to Jay-Z for coming at all these people. Phenomenal job. Everyone said it was amazing. I'm going to actually watch the full performance because I haven't watched it. Obviously, after that, Erica Banks child. Erykah Badu came out. There was also some weird thing about they were trying to make Erykah Badu seem like she was weird because she recorded Beyonce leaving through Jay-Z's set. But I was like, maybe they were going to the backstage. Also, she was doing this and like recording them walk past. It gave fan. Do you know what I mean? I know they've had their few back and forths as well because she was trying to say that Beyonce took her identity with the hats. So I think that's why people was I think that's why people were like, why are you being so shady? Why would you record this moment? Blah, 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 blah. But, you know, I don't think that she was meaning anything by it, you know? Two witches together at this point. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that deep. Anyway, so yeah, shout out to Jay-Z for getting at everyone. Do you know who had something to say about Jay-Z? Bobby Shmurda. You with some hot niggas. He said, niggas be 50 years old going through identity crisis. He said crisis, by the way, not crisis, but he meant crisis. Look, like who are you going to be next fronting? A nigga. Too old for that, bitch. Sit down. And then he also said this, which is crazy. Fuck out here, you put niggas in jail like me, Tory, and who else knows? Old cap ass nigga. So when did Rock Nation get blamed for putting Bobby Shmurda in jail? This is a new thing. I've never heard that. But that's what he said.
I don't know what Bobby Shmurda did to go to...
He was... okay, I'm so sorry. But again, I'm sure it was because he had a gun. I'm sure it was a gun case. And I'm sorry, but all these people here that are walking around with guns, you would not get arrested and sent to jail for what you got sent to jail for if you weren't walking around with this illegal arms. That's a choice you made. Even if Jay-Z and Rock Nation snitched on you and sent the police on your door, they would not be able to arrest you if you did not have said gun. Look at the great Michael Jackson. They were coming after him for years. He's a pedophile, allegation after allegation after allegation. When it came down to the evidence, there was no evidence, okay? And what was he? Acquitted. Because it didn't fit. But you know what I mean? So if there was no gun, Tory, Bobby, you wouldn't be in jail.
21 firearms, man.
Who, Bobby Schmurda?
Yeah.
Boy, bye.
Yeah.
Unless Jay-Z went and plotted them in your yard, that's your business. Like, what's that got to do with Rock Nation? What's that got to do with 50? What's that got to do with Jay-Z? Niggas don't like taking accountability. All y'all can. At this point, all y'all don't like taking accountability. Blaming the girl that got shot in her leg or in her foot to why you're in jail, but not the fact that you had a gun when you're on probation. Make it make sense.
Funny. Not funny.
What? No.
Get him, Kim. Get him, Kim. Get him, Kim. Anyways, back to the loser we're talking about, Tory Lanez. Speaking of that leprechaun, speaking about him, since we're, talking about it very much, it's so funny. Jay-Z said the tricks, what did he say? The tricks are done. The leprechauns have magically run out of tricks or pranks, he said. No, they have not. Because Tory Lanez has now filed another thing with the federal judge for his safety. He's now saying that the prison guards are after him and have been threatening him, and he's worried about his safety. So now he's looking for support from the federal judge. This, I believe, is a scheme.
How long is he in jail?
10 years.
Just sit down, man.
Like, I think in 3. Maybe at the point, this thing, he's bringing out music. He's doing what he needs to do. Keep doing what you're doing, Tory.
Man, get do
but
qualifications.
At this point,
just sit down and be quiet, man. Every couple of months is something.
They said that basically he's been moved to somewhere that's more dangerous, and he's scared that he's going to be harmed. Again, remember, he was stabbed when he was in jail a few times. However, again, I truly believe all of this is a scheme. Now, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, and I don't want to, come for him, but I think he's doing all of these appeals, and it's not being heard by the judge. They've been dismissing all of them, and now I think he thinks that the only way he's going to get out is he plays the celebrity safety thing. He's not going to want to be in solitary confinement because that's not gangster enough. Because if that's the case, if you're that scared, go sit there by yourself, but you don't want that. So you want to be in Gen Pop, but it's too scary because they're coming after you because you're a celebrity. Before it was because of the inmate, because he got stabbed. Now it's the guards. So he's saying, no one here can save me. So what you not need to do is release me and put me on tag. I think that's the route that he's going now. I think he's realized that the appeal's not going to work the way in which he wants the appeals to work. So now he's using the safety ploy. I actually do think that he was stabbed with a setup that he set up. But that's just me. Allegedly. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so he's now still with the pranks, still with the tricks, trying to make his way out. Do you have anything to say to your brother since you want to defend him so much? No.
Yeah, I don't think it works like that. As in, I don't think he can claim that he feels like he's in danger and they'll release him and put him on tag. I don't think it works like that.
People do get released for safety reasons.
Oh, they do?
Not normally gun charges. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's normally things that are not dangerous crimes, like shoot people, but based on the celebrity of it all, you just never know. However, I just feel like this judge ain't playing games. He's been putting too many filings in. The judge is like, I'm over it. I'm not listening to it. But I think this is where he's thinking he's going to get out.
Yeah.
If he gets stabbed in the next 6 months, it was, trust me, it's a setup, and this is why he's trying to get out.
Tearing his up.
It'll be many times, but missing all vital organs. You know what I mean? So, next, let's get off this man. IShowSpeed. So we were talking about his Caribbean tour, but then he gave his top 3 favorite places for food. Trinidad was number 1. Then Jamaica was number 2, and Puerto Rico was number 3 of the best places that he ate in the Caribbean. From the beginning, he was talking about how much he loved Trini food. I think it's like, I get it, because I think each one, gives kind of like a different cultural experience and flavor of the Caribbean, but diverse. Like Trinidad gives like the Afro Indian like mix. Obviously Jamaica I think is like more like normal like known Caribbean dishes, like the most known Caribbean dishes and fresh food. And then Puerto Rico is like the Spanish Latino version. Definitely wasn't going to be Dominican Republic after everything that happened down there. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it kind of is a really nice mix of all the key places in the Caribbean, like the known like bigger islands, but also the ones that are known for their food. So yeah, I was like, shout out to Speed. I love that he did talk about how much he loved Trini curry and the Trini flavors. Obviously he did also shout out Barbados, but to be honest we knew what was going to be on that list because he never ate any traditional foods anyway. Barbados is not really known for their food, to be fair, but we also didn't give him no traditional food, but he did shout out Shafet about how much he loved Shafet. And then all the elders went in the cussing all the elders were cussing in the comments like, you brought him here and you gave him fast food.
We got him KFC.
Well, yeah, but KFC, yeah, but you also like he cooked with essentially like he ate all of these foods, like it was a whole thing. Like Barbados didn't even give him a national dish. Like it was a whole thing. But yeah, I just love that he seemed to really love the Caribbean. Is saying that he's going to come back, and then is highlighting all of the different like diversity of the food and the representation of the Caribbean. So shout out to Speed. I've seen people saying that they're going to go to this place now, they're going to go to this place now, and I think that the younger generation that follow him always, I don't know, I just feel like, especially in the States, when they think about going on vacation, they always think about like Europe or even Asia, not Black countries. So it's nice that I feel like maybe he's like giving a different view of what Africa looks like, what the Caribbean looks like, and I think younger people will want to go to these countries. For sure. So yeah, shout out to Speed. I really, really do like him. I think he's such a good guy. Finally, on the US side, this means nothing to anybody else but means everything to me. Waka Flocka is finally having a baby. Okay, I don't think anyone knows this, but him and his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife Tammy used to have a TV show, and they also were on and they used to be on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta as well, and they tried to have a child so many times. She already had her daughter Charlie, who he is a phenomenal dad to, even to this day. Now that they've separated, he bought her a house, he's bought her first car. He is still very active in Charlie's life, but he always wanted to have his own child, and he actually had some fertility issues. Yeah. It wasn't her, it was him that was having the actual issues. So it was actually because they never really they never really talk about the fact that not most of the time, but a lot of times
because it's him and he never said it, or because he's a man.
No, I know fertility. Obviously, I know fertility issues could be a guy, and obviously she just said she already had a kid. Mm-hmm. So I just didn't know.
Why were you so shocked?
I didn't realize, like, I didn't even know that he wanted to have a kid.
Oh no, he's been wanting to have a child for years, and it never worked. And then one time, I think it was Love and Hip Hop past their show, they went to the doctors and they finally did all the checks, and then it found out that it was him. He was so heartbroken. But I think it was really nice because this was the first time I feel like they talked about the fact that sometimes the fertility issues is men, and actually a lot of times it is, and no one speaks about it. Everyone just assumes that it's the women, but actually when it comes to these men that have really drug infused lifestyles from when they're like 15 years old, he was smoking weed from when he was like a kid, like doing all sorts of drugs, just having a really bad lifestyle. It affected his sperm count, which afterwards he changed his life around. Now you see him like he works out a lot. I don't know if he stopped smoking as a whole, but I remember that being a thing where he wanted to like turn his life around and stop like eating bad and stuff like that. He looks great now. He's lost a bunch of weight. So yeah, as much as I don't really respect his now Republican views, because he's a MAGA too at this point, so don't really follow him the way I used to follow him, I know how much he really wanted this child. So shout out to Waka Flocka. Like, he's going to be a phenomenal dad. He is to Charlie anyway, but I know to have his own, he's having a boy as well, so he's had the girl experience, now he has the boy experience. So he's having a little junior. He just posted with the little J because he's gonna name him Junior. So shout out to Waka. I love that for him. All right, guys, we're now going to go on to the UK. Let's go on to the UK now, honey. Mis-Teeq are back. So Mis-Teeq is one of the legendary groups in the UK. If you don't know, please Google them. Like, Google them, listen to their music. You will have a time if you don't know who Mis-Teeq is. Anyway, they have a reunion concert in September at the O2 Arena. I wonder if those tickets are sold out. Listen, that's another one that if I had the money, I would be out here. I would fly to that. And I would spend Beyonce prices. Destiny Child, Mis-Teeq, take my money. Take my money. Anyway, they did their first performance on Britain's Got Talent. And if you know Alicia Dixon, who is the rapper of the group, she used to be a judge on Britain's Got Talent, right? So when they performed, it was very much centered around Alicia. And she was doing some of the ad-libs and vocals that I don't remember Alicia doing. Sabrina was the girl. Like, Sabrina is, in my mind, when we think about Mis-Teeq, Sabrina is the lead. Is she not? Does anyone remember that? Sabrina was the lead of Mis-Teeq.
She was the singer, right?
Yeah.
But Alicia was always more popular.
So this is the thing. Alicia was popular after the fact because remember she was then with Harvey. They become like an it couple. The group disbanded. She was with Harvey. She then went on to do Britain's Got Talent and she became the People's Princess, Alicia Dixon, which is why I think they've centered this around her. But if we want to be true to Mis-Teeq, Sabrina was the singer and the lead and the main person. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, is that just when I watched it, don't get me wrong, I watched it, phenomenal, want to be there, trust me, but I was just surprised that I felt like Alicia was doing more talking than I remember Alicia doing talking.
But I mean, they're gonna do that, right? Because people, you're now okay. There's us that know Mis-Teeq, right?
Yeah.
With them, but you're also introducing them to a new generation that don't know maybe
and know Alicia.
So they know Alicia. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna.
I think that's what they're doing, especially because, like I said, this is their first performance. They're promoting the show, and it's on a platform that everyone knows who Alicia Dixon is.
Yeah.
Based on that, I just felt that it wasn't necessary for some of the vocals for Alicia to sing, and it should have been sing rap sing over when it's like I just remember hearing Sabrina singing it a certain way and it just didn't carry when Alicia was doing it. Great performance, don't get me wrong, and I would, like I said, want to see it, but I just hope that when the actual show comes, please give Miss Sabrina her dues.
What's that? Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis?
No, don't do that. Yeah, it's not that though, because like
No, but I felt like...
we came to see. Listen. Let's be real. Mis-Teeq is Alicia Dixon and Sabrina. Elise, gorgeous gowns, but like that's not what the singer was. Sabrina, and then the rap parts, which everyone loved and was excited to hear, was Alicia Dixon. But Sabrina was that girl. It's like Keisha and Mutia in Sugar Babes. Yeah. Like, we know that they're both sing down, but there's parts of the songs that Mutia, and then there's bits that I've got her name now, Jesus. Keisha was that gal on. We're not gonna then have Mutia sing over Keisha's bits because it ain't gonna sound the same, and Keisha's not gonna sing over Mutia's bits because it doesn't sound the same. Do you know what I mean? It just like I was excited for the nostalgia and I'm singing along and it's like that riff that we're used to hearing is now sounding rappy and I'm like, I don't want that.
That's fair.
Do you know? But yeah, honestly, guys, very excited for this. If anybody wants to fly me out, I will be Daphne in your Diddy video if you need me to be. I'm ready to do freak off for some tickets to fly out so I can go see Mis-Teeq. I cannot lie to you. I'm so down for it. So if anybody wants to,
I'll be Daphne in your video.
You know who's here?
Who here?
Corinne and Bailey. She's like,
oh, yeah.
Celebrating
Girl,
like
put your
25 years or
records
something.
on.
Yeah. As a Corin and Bailey.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Yeah. Well, that's just cute. I ain't participating in no party for that. I don't want to freak off for that. But for Alicia Dixon and Sabrina for Mis-Teeq, do you know what I mean? Call me. Unless you're Diddy size. I don't want that. Okay, next. UK Thanos. So obviously we spoke about this last week, right? And did anyone hear? Actually, did I bring this to my phone? Oh, you're gonna have to send this to me. I didn't send it to this iPad. But basically, she's still going. Well, it stopped now, but she was still going. Obviously, they replied to her, she replied to them, and what she did was basically say, how about you do a video, James, on the baby mum that you have in hiding? Allegedly. He's a Drake.
Someone said that before.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like it's a rumor that's never been heard. Yeah. It's been bubbling, especially obviously that after that ATL Black women thing, everyone was pulling out all the dirt out of them. So apparently he got a baby mama, he got a kid.
Yeah.
And he's hiding them from the world, hiding them from the world like Drake.
I'm a kid from the world.
Or holding the world from my kid, or whatever it was. But yeah, like, so James, obviously she said it in a funnier way, but we got the clips of them. Whatever, I might say it later. But yeah, what do you think about this? What's up with these people? Do you think this is normal behavior?
I mean, to be fair though, people say this whole
appear single.
Huh?
Appearing single.
I mean, he may be single. He could.
No, honestly, he could still be single.
But
he doesn't have a child.
Yeah, like now that I think about it, I'm like, okay, on one instance, yeah, having a kid is something that you would talk about. Like parents obviously talk about having a kid, right? But I get that on their platform, maybe that's not necessary.
The thing about it is, they talk about dating, they talk about women, they talk about their experiences. They've never talked about having kids. They've spoken about being married. Actually, yes, they have. They've spoken about being married, or him saying he's scared to be married. He doesn't want to have kids. He doesn't want to be married. But they omit the baby making or the kid part, or he never really mentions the kid part. Maybe because he has a kid. But I find that really strange. If you're gonna make content, most of their content, to be fair, is not about their lives or their experiences. They really comment on others, which is fair. But I just find it strange that we're talking about the dating, we're talking about, marriage, being against it or for it or whatever he said, but not mention the fact that you have a child. I'm also trying to think that back to going when they had Harry on the show. Harry talks about the fact, Harry Panera talks about the fact that he has a son a lot. I wonder if they mentioned, like, if he just basically mentioned it or just ignored it. Like, I don't know. I just, fair enough, you don't need to know your business. You can do whatever you want. That's not really your job. But I just find it really strange when people have kids that they don't mention.
I wonder what the drama is.
Oh, this is a Drake situation. I feel like this is a Drake situation. This is a girl that you made with a fan or someone that you was knocking on. You went in a relationship with her probably. She got pregnant and now she's keeping that baby because you're James from SHXT Gigs and you're racking in bare money. And now you got a baby. Oof. And it must be that, which is why you're not speaking about it. Because if you actually do have a girlfriend, that would be crazy to not mention that you have a kid. Although part of their zhuzh and their stick is the fact that, like, he's obsessed with Fuad and maybe they're gay. Do you know what I mean? So maybe he's like, I don't want to mention I have a girlfriend because Fuad is my girlfriend. I don't know, but UK Thanos girl, she said, don't come for mine. Don't throw rocks and hide your hands. I see you coming for me. Worry about your glass house. I do love her. I do. Listen, that if there was one person I do not want to beef with, it's that girl right here. What? She don't play. Okay, so we have a few topics. Does anybody want to talk about Trapstar? Trapstar is closing down. What an error. people have Trapstar tattoos on them, like.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's Death Row. What did
probably one of the first UK brands that crossed over like into America or whatever, just because of the endorsements.
Yeah, definitely, and it also is in Selfridges.
Okay, yeah.
ASOS in Selfridges, like that is something. Went from a street brand to in one of the biggest department stores in the UK and a high-end department store as well. Like Rihanna's wearing it, everyone's wearing Trapstar. So even though it's the end of an era, sad. However, I don't know in terms of like what the background is with it, but I'm sure they could bring the brand back.
It could just be bad business,
It probably that's what it said. It was that's basically kind of what they were saying. They were saying that basically they couldn't basically before COVID the sales and demand reached a high. They built and put all of this money thinking that they were going to keep the same demand. Then everything happened with COVID, sales dropped, and they haven't been able to bounce back financially from the investments that they basically put in, and they don't have the capital to keep going. So
yeah, because I feel like they were, I guess the whole thing was a secret, so they weren't heavy on advertisement, but from what I saw, they just didn't really transition. There's a point where it can be a secretive brand or whatever, but when you now have like Clint's brand, for example, Courtiers,
when that came, and there was another brand, it was them and someone else.
I feel like
what was the other guy?
I can't remember.
And they were beefing all the time. Them two.
I can't remember.
No. Hoodrich is nowhere near this. But it was them two. There was another brand that they were always beefing with. But yeah, when those two came on the scene, it was almost like Trapstar didn't even try to compete or like they weren't doing. I don't think they were doing enough. After the fact in terms of the marketing and really continuing to align themselves with British culture. Even though they did set the trend, but they didn't do that well. In terms of continuing representing themselves and producing more stuff that people want to be around. Like they just have the same.
Yeah, it kind of felt like they just gave up. Like
like nothing. Like that's true. Actually, I don't remember them bringing out a newer line with like a new design. It was very much still the same kind of thing. Yeah, that's actually true. Well, apparently it's up for sale, so someone might buy it. Ken, before you buy it, can you
what? Send me to
the UK? No, Diddy. Most of the only
nobody puts baby in a corner.
Okay, so is this the last one? This ain't even the last one, but let me just talk about this just real quick because this is hilarious. So a theatre school in Yorkshire, the UK, wanted to do Dreamgirls and made it an all-white cast. Are we being serious? It was never gonna bang. So obviously, but that's what's his name? The villain in the story. Like, do you know what I mean? What's his name? The only person that they kept black was the villain in the story, which again prejudiced. So the people that obviously have to license the ability to do this show, once they found out that this was an all-white cast, they said, nah, sorry, this is meant to be about civil rights. This has got all of these racial undertones in the story of Dreamgirls. It could never be told by a white person. It doesn't make sense to the actual story, and the thing about it is, because there was people in the comments being like, but when black people do like the Little Mermaid and all that kind of stuff, like fiction. It's fiction, one, but also at the same time, whether Little Mermaid is black, white, Puerto Rican or Asian, it doesn't even take away from the story, even though she was in the Caribbean Sea, so she probably would have been brown. Let's be real. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't take away from the story, but this is a culturally relevant story. It has to be black. How are you going to be in Motown?
And how are you going to have your music stolen?
Stolen by who? Who's stealing the story if it's not being stolen by the whites and you the whites? It doesn't make sense. So yeah, they shut that down real fast, quick and in a hurry. Because also, you ain't about to be rolling your neck and doing all that. You ain't doing all that. Because at this point, it's blackface. So yeah, I found that very, very funny. Anyways, next, this is the last story we have here. The Painted by Esther and Patrick Tar information controversy versus over some blushes. I know you know nothing about I know you know nothing about this, Ken. Kim, I assume now that you don't either, since you said it's about lips. So Painted by Esther is a UK makeup artist. She became very famous with the heavy under eye pink blush. So this, because she's been doing it for years, but she really, I guess, rose to fame in like 2019, 2020, really rose to fame, started doing a lot of the catwalk looks in all of the fashion weeks and stuff like that, right? She has been coined, no, she didn't create it, but she has been coined as the person who made this version of blush popular for everyone, okay? The blacks agree, the Asians agrees, the whites agree. It's Painted by Esther, okay? So what Painted by Esther basically said was, she was asked by Patrick Tar's family, friends, community organization, yeah, to come and do a demonstration for them of her version of the blush. But she decided that she didn't want to do it, or she couldn't do it at this moment, okay? 5-6 months later, he has now brought out his own version of these blushes. He has trademarked the transitional blurring blush duo, and he's trademarked transitional blurring blush, which is basically how she coined the phrase of what she done. She basically does it different. Most people put cream and then powder. She puts powder then cream or something like that, and then she blends it out with another layer of powder. This is her technique, the way that she does it. This is different to the way that Patrick has been doing it for years. And in his video, he even commented when he did the different versions of it, said, "Oh, I've learned or updated my thing based on Esther's technique." That's what he was saying. So now you bring out this palette, you're using her phrasing, you've changed your technique, but give her no credit, no nothing. So obviously the blacks are in an uproar. Because what you're not going to do, big guy here, big makeup artist with your huge brand, you're not going to steal from a black woman who's popularized this technique. You've stolen her technique, because technically you have. Obviously blushes, everyone brings out blushes and everyone does it their way. But because you have changed your technique to follow her technique, therefore you have copied her. You've stolen from her. Especially if you invite her to do a demonstration, she declines, and now you're bringing out stuff on her technique. Esther said she knew in her spirit that something wasn't right. This is why black women intuition. She knew something wasn't right, which is why she never went, because they were planning to probably record it and get even more detail based on what she does. Anyway, this happened. Everyone's in an uproar. He trademarks it. So even if she wanted to bring out her own blushes now, she can't use traditional blurring blush because he has trademarked it. Everyone also thinks that that is some colonizer shit. Because who trademarks blurring blush unless you didn't want her to use it or come out with something that was more authentic to the actual process, because that she's the one that made it popular. Anyway, this is where everything went bad, because we all know that this was going to be fine. We all agreed it was Esther. Everyone's saying no. All of the influence girlies are saying absolutely not. We're not going to support this man. But then Jackie Aina, who is one of the biggest makeup gurus in the history of makeup gurus. She is that girl. She is one of our North Stars when it comes to black women and makeup. She is friends with Patrick. And it's now we've realized that when you get successful, sometimes your friendship with others is more important than your blackness. Because she did a glowing review, mentioned nothing about Esther. And then when everyone was like, how dare you do that? Like, you've built your career defending black women, talk about people not crediting, you've already talked about people not crediting using you, da 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 da, and you don't want to defend this girl. You've not defended her at all. She said, that's not my beef, basically. And I never, what'd she say? It wasn't very popular because they were saying you only wanted to defend black women when it was popular. She said it was never popular to defend black women. So I don't know what you're talking about, which I kind of get what she's saying because it was never popular. She did make money off it, but she also lost a lot doing that for some things. But I found her response tone deaf. She could have said, this is my friend, I didn't think anything of it, blah, 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 blah. But instead she doubled down on it, disregarded Esther, and then brought up the fact that Esther did a collaboration with Juvia's Place, which is another brand that she has beef with, which is why she says she doesn't support Esther. Esther is not a partner of Juvia's Place. She is not a brand founder of Juvia's Place. She just did a collab with Juvia's Place and got paid for it, like everybody else. But because she basically said, because she aligned with them, knowing that I had an issue, why should I stand up for her when she worked with them, knowing I had the issue? Not being funny, Jackie, we forgot. That happened many years ago. I don't think Esther remembered that you had your beef with Juvia's Place. I didn't remember that you had your beef with them. So I think it's not fair to say that you're not going to defend her because you feel like she didn't defend you when this is nowhere near the same thing. This didn't happen last week. This happened many years ago. So I think for an up-and-coming makeup artist that's finally getting her foot in the lane, like in the door, I think it's not very nice for you to basically dismiss what she's going through because, one, you're friends with this man, but also because you're holding her to a standard that she did not even know. No one knew. Not no one knew. People did know. But we forgot. Baby, that was 2016, like that was a while ago, girl. We went through a whole pandemic, babe. We went through a pandemic. We don't remember this stuff. So yeah, now the conversation is no longer painted by Esther, Patrick Tar. It's now, does Jackie Aina still represent black women? Which I don't think is fair. We need to remember who we should be aligning to go at, and it is Patrick, not Jackie Aina. But it was kind of disappointing the way in which she handled this situation. Kind of out of touch. And not the Jackie that we know. So yeah, very disappointing. But Esther recently just did a collab with MAC Cosmetic with Alandria from Love Island, who's having an incredible run as well. That sold out in minutes. And that literally came out a couple days after the Patrick's Tar duo pack. So I think Patrick knew it was coming and he made sure his came out first. But you never win when you play dirty because everyone is anti you. So yeah, don't play with black women. But yeah, that's it for Hot Topics. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? For people that don't know, back in the day, there was a popular YouTube channel called Chris and Queen. They were a couple, they were married. Chris was beaten and cheated on Queen for many, many years. They had a baby together called CJ, Chris Jr. Queen finally leaves this man. She then meets this guy called Clarence NYC. They end up being a couple and they eventually have a child. Since they've had this child, and she broke up with Chris. Chris has been trolling that family day in, day out, to the point that that him and Clarence used to literally annually, I feel like, do this back and forth on stream, on YouTube, beefing each other. And one of the main things that Clarence always used to say about Chris was the fact that you're a deadbeat dad and I'm raising your son. That you're, yeah, one of the main things that Clarence used to say over. One of the main things that Clarence was able to say about Chris was the fact that he was a deadbeat dad and I'm here raising your son, basically. And this has been going on for years. Little CJ has graduated and he's now going from kindergarten, primary school. He's now going to middle school. Every year, when your son finishes school. But he missed this graduation the same way he missed the previous graduation in 2019. I wanted to play the video of him explaining why he wasn't at the graduation so we can cuss men that think like this. Because I actually can't believe that we're still having this type of conversation.
Your son graduating this day, he would like for you to come, or you should come, or this or that. I would love that, but I know I made it harder on myself, so I don't blame them over there for not inviting me. You get what I'm saying? I don't blame them. That's not their fault. Once you found out, you should have just came. Yeah, but like I said, bro. Like I said, make effort. No, I can make effort for sure. I for sure can make effort, but so you did find out, so you lied. I didn't lie, nigga. I just correct myself. It wasn't an invitation type of find out, like, yo, he got all this, your son graduating, can you come, or he would love for you to come. No, it wasn't that, nigga. But I don't blame them. Like I said, I don't blame them for not inviting me, because I did that upon myself. I made things hard. After all of that, I made things hard. That was me who, I feel like I still should be able to go, but it's not. I feel like at the end of the day, I want them to be comfortable too. I don't know. I guess I'll ask my son what he feel about it. How would he feel about it? How do he feel about me not coming? Because that's actually a conversation that me and him need to have. Honestly, I don't think I've ever had that conversation with him. But he's older now to where I can have that conversation with him. So I'll have that conversation with him in private. But yeah, I would love to go to my son's stuff. Like I don't ever get,
Anyway, I'm done talking about it. Well, not done talking about it, I'm done sharing it. So basically, he said that this is how he found out. So Ken, please, as the man here, don't embarrass me. Answer correctly to the questions about talk show. Okay. If you have a baby with someone and you normally get your son for the summer, and they say to you, you say, what day can Chris fly out? They say, it would have to be after he can't come this weekend. It would have to be the next week because he has a graduation. Is that not, what do you think? What would be the next thing for you to do if you heard that?
When's graduation?
Right. So in this video, this loser is basically saying that no one invited him. It would be nice that someone invited me. Yes, I made it. He was like, what annoys me is that men will be listening to this and be like, oh, but he's taking accountability. At least he knows that he didn't make it hard. He made it hard on them. Like, at least he is taking accountability. No, he's giving himself excuses. She told you when he could come because she told you when he could come, which was also telling you when his graduation is. And you never gave follow-up questions. When is his graduation? Okay, I'm gonna come. Also, if you speak to your son on a daily basis, you didn't know that when his graduation was? Chris is he's not a grown-ass kid. CJ is old enough. He's going into middle school. So I don't know. I think he must be like 9, 10 years old at this point. I think that's the same time that they go in. So if you're 9, 10 years old, he has a phone. He plays games with them because they always talk about the fact that they play like video games together. You have access to speak to your son. He knows when he's graduating. Why have you not asked him when he's graduating? And why are you not showing up? This is not the first graduation he missed. Like I said, he missed the other one that was in 2021. And then he put on post, proud of you, proud of my baby, even though daddy wasn't told you were graduating. What do you mean? You know your son's age, you know he's in school, you know when school's finished, and you know when they do graduations. In the US, they do it after elementary school, they do it before, they do it in middle school, and they do it in high school. They do it at the end of every big milestone. You know he's finishing elementary school, you know he's going into middle school, you know he's having a graduation. Why are we trying to blame it on the mum or the fact that you weren't invited?
I think there's a part that we're missing here, which is what kind of relationship do you have with your son? If you don't ask him or he doesn't tell you what's going on in school, for you to know when he graduates,
Do you know
are
what
you just playing games?
Right. And do you know what it is? I genuinely think it is because CJ knows, thank God, that he has someone that's going to show up for him. Clarence, her fiance, is going to show up for him regardless. Has been at every graduation, at every what's it called again? Class game or anything that CJ does. He is there with Queen, looking after him and showing him that he has a male present in his life. Clarence talks about it a lot, about the fact that he needs to be a better man. CJ, I'm raising these two boys, blah, 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 blah. CJ taught me how to be a good father, blah, 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 blah. And Chris is just like, not there. He's got many kids as well, so that may be a thing. He's spread thin. That's also, he's probably spread thin. But I just find it really, this boy has your name. Like, he has your name. This is your first child. And you can't even show up to his graduation.
Maybe he couldn't afford to go.
Well, this was a thing. So that actually was one of the conversations that he had with Chris, with Queen last summer. So last summer, he wanted CJ to come to him, but that CJ didn't want to go for the whole summer. So then he got angry and said, well, then I'm not taking him at all. Previous to that, Queen was like, I need you to spend more time with CJ because he's getting older. And then he was like, well, you know, I'm busy. I can't be flying out. Da, 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 da. So Queen said, I will pay for CJ to fly out to you. I will get someone to go with him till you drop him off and come back. He still didn't want to do that. So if someone is willing to pay for your son to go to you, you still don't want it, still don't want him. She said that he can't come for the full summer because he doesn't want to. He wants to come for only half the summer. You don't want that. If it's not the full summer, you don't want him. What more can we do? If I've told you this is when you can get him in the summer, but it has to be after his graduation, why was the follow-up not when's his graduation? Give me the details. Also, you should be getting the newsletters and the emails and all that from the school too. And if you're not, you as the man should be like, sorry, but why is my email not on there? I want to know what's going on with my son. But he don't want to because he doesn't have to, because he already knows that CJ has his mum and his stepdad showing up for him. But only when it comes to things like this, when people are like, wait, hold on a second. Not on the everyday things, he doesn't care. But when it comes to the big things that have, like, people have eyes on it, now he wants to speak about the fact that he's not in the life and he's sorry about it and he feels some type of way because outside people are speaking on it. But if no one mentioned it, he wouldn't care.
Yeah. There's different levels of fatherhood as well. There is, like, for example, I know that my son has asthma versus I know how many pumps he has. I know when the refill runs out and I know where each of those pumps are.
Mm-hmm.
Those are different levels.
Yeah. He wouldn't even know the school. Well, he might not even know the school, let alone the teachers. Literally.
It's a different state.
Literally.
Is this the Queen that sings now?
Yeah, this is Queen Niger that sings. Yeah. How crazy. And then it's just like, dads literally want us to hold their hand during parenting. The same info we have, you can have. Literally. Shout out to her. Formal invite. You need an invitation for your own child's graduation. When she said he was graduating, the next question should have been when and where and what time. He shouldn't have to wait for an invitation. It pains me to see people making excuses for this grown man when he clearly stated that she indirectly told him about the graduation. It was your job to find out and show up as a father. She informed you he was graduating. You took no initiative to find out when and what was happening with your child. If this was a woman, oh my God, it would be a shambles. But people still follow him, find him funny, think that he is like this great guy when he was one putting hands on her, like physically putting hands on her, cheating on her up and down, which is why she ended up leaving, has literally bullied her on the internet and Clarence for years and years and years and years. And now you can't even still be a good dad and people still support this man. I wish Clarence would stop feeling like he has to explain himself in a situation like this. CJ is your son, point blank, real talk. Because it's very much giving Russell Wilson. It is giving Russell Wilson. You've been a consistent part of his life for years, played an instrumental role in raising him alongside his mum. Don't let anyone make you feel like you can't show up and advocate for CJ the way that you do for Legend. Period. Because Clarence is here showcasing him, making sure he has the best clothes, best garms. When Clarence met CJ, he had them silver metal caps. Yeah. Neglect. Clarence don't play that. Them boys are fresh because that daddy says, no, not my sons. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so deadbeat dads, no time for it. Actually, no time for it. And I'm actually sick, like we said earlier with the whole Tory Lanez stuff. The accountability for men, a mess. No more excuses, no more hand-holding, no, none of this. Fix up, look sharp, in the words of Dizzy Rascal. Anyways, we are done with this episode. Make sure you comment and subscribe. We love you. We appreciate you. See you next week.